Wow, I don't know if somebody's going to orgasm here today or what exactly this thing is, but we got a box of toys here, and apparently there's something in it that will bring a woman to orgasm in 60 seconds.
Oh, is the pleasure coach? Is she the one that sent us this box?
Yeah, that's what all the toys are for. There's something in there. Do you have that box over there, Virginia?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Slightly used, but.
Oh well, there you go.
Just kidding.
I think she wants somebody to try it out. Like that's the experiment. Like I think he'll do it in 60 seconds.
Can we get a hot sales girl?
And what? Have her do it?
Isn't that what you mean?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
What? Who's gonna sit there and?
I don't. Who knows? Maybe.
I thought that you wanted somebody to come in here and try it.
That's what I thought too.
That'd be great if we could. I mean, but who's gonna do that? Yeah, it's the womanizer right there.
It goes on your clam.
Yeah. Yeah, you strap that thing on and you're ready to go. Like 60 seconds, apparently. It's like a done deal.
I don't want to ask you, Vree, but would you do it?
Would I do it?
Yeah, I want to see this thing works, man.
No, it's kind of personal.
That is pretty.
And then you put it on, but then we got to judge when you actually turn it on. Yeah.
I don't know. I might go home and try it. Write you an email.
Get back to us on it?
Yeah.
I didn't expect you to try it.
Dr. Sadie Allison, America's Pleasure Coach. She's written such amazing literature as Tickle His Pickle. Is going to be joining us. She's been in Cosmo, Red Book, Men's Health, WebMD, all that kind of good stuff.
There's a couple of toys in this box. One's the womanizer, and then the other one is the Tickle Kitty.
Now that egg part.
Tickle Kitty. Oh,
the
dang.
egg part goes in the hoo-ha.
Well, we got some good stuff to try to get to then.
Can I see that one box?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You're talking about this or mine?
Yeah. So anyway, that's going to be coming up here. Your After the Show podcast being brought to you in part by the Smooth Operator. Are you tired of the cellulite? 90% of women worldwide have got it, some form of it. With beach season happening here in South Florida, it's time to get on something that's not going to be a pain in the ass, literally. Up until now, the only way to get rid of cellulite has been an invasive treatment. This is non-invasive, and you can do it within the comfort of your own home. Go online to thesmoothoperator.com. Speaking of which, there's some emails. One references yesterday. Nikki said, Virginia OMG, did you realize what you said at the end of Thursday's podcast? A quote, have you done the plug for the ass fixer?
The ass fixer.
So wrong on so many levels. The way you said it, too, so nonchalant, as if everybody does it. No words to describe because I was laughing so hard.
You knew what I meant.
Yes.
I meant the Smooth Operator, but I just couldn't think of the name.
Nikki said, to Denny's, your story about your first time high was actually similar to mine. I was at a little local rock show my senior year of high school, and somebody had some mushrooms, which led to drinking hard liquor, which led to smoking weed.
Wow.
All in one night.
That is a big way to start.
Wow. Oh, as you would all say, it just got a little bit away from me. And I found myself hours later rolling around on a rock, staring at the moon and telling everybody how much I fucking loved them.
That sounds like Jaybird.
Yeah, I get a little sentimental when I've had a few.
Nikki said, I started listening to you all in late 2004 when Stern was about to go off the air. All he would talk about was switching from regular radio to satellite radio, and it was getting old. And once I started listening to you, I realized you guys are way better than Stern.
Wow.
Okay. If I were to
I don't know about that.
Yeah. I appreciate your own perspective. If I were to combine a piece of all of you, I think it would be me. You're relatable to so many of my life's adventures. Please don't ever stop doing what you do. That's it. Mic drop. Peace out.
Nice.
Nikki from Lauderdale. Nikki. Got this from Morgan. She said, so your recent podcasts have been extra dirty, and it cracks me up, but also makes listening to them super awkward. I'm temporarily living with my 85-year-old grandma.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, this ain't your grandma's podcast.
This is not.
She's hard of hearing, so when I get home from my workouts, I take my headphones off and I listen to the podcast while I'm making my dinner. My grandma is always home at that time watching TV rather loudly, might I say. So I never truly worry about the dirty things that you're saying. Well, one day, I can't remember the exact date, you guys were talking about sex, as always, and as I was prepping my cooking and y'all were really getting into into it, Grammy happens to saunter on over into the kitchen, as she does every so often, to reheat her coffee, since the kitchen and TV room are basically only separated by the couch. And as she's getting closer, the TV commercial broke away to the program that was playing. And all there was a silent pause. And just as the pause occurred, Jason went off about how he's never fucked a blow-up doll, and I only fucked the couch one time when I got my first boner.
Oh, I could kill a lesser grandma.
I'm sorry.
Even if I could get to my phone fast enough to turn the volume down, I wouldn't have been able to because I had oil and raw chicken juice all over my hands.
It's too late.
I was laughing so hard at the situation because I was basically stuck and caught red-handed. I felt like I was listening to an adult porn show. Now my grandma knows what kind of program I'm listening to during my workouts. So funny, and just thought I'd share. Love you guys so much, and I've written a few times before and have called in the show. I love when I've gotten to talk to you.
Aww.
And even though I've been nervous and I have dreams, I'm in your studio listening to your show live all the time. Love y'all, and I hope to meet you soon. From middle school to 25, y'all are awesome. Love, Morgan.
That's
that was
sweet.
nice. Do we talk about sex that much? Do we talk about sex a lot? I guess we do.
Do we?
Some good stuff. A good bit, yeah. I mean, look who we got coming in the studio here. Dr. Sadie Allison, America's pleasure coach. No, we don't talk about sex ever.
I feel like we're pretty, all over the place, though.
We are, but, we seem to hit on the funnest things in life most. Getting fucked up and fucking.
Yeah,
Take that one, Grandma.
we are a bunch of pirates, man.
Kimberly said, hola, y'all. I was at Rosalita's last evening, and I had the pleasure of seeing you guys and speaking to Virginia for a minute.
See.
I've listened to your show since the beginning, so I feel like I know you all personally, so it was just awesome to see you guys. And anyways, I was waiting for the valet. Jaybird and Virginia were looking for their black SUV, and Jason was walking on his tiptoes. But then he would walk normal, and then he would go back to tiptoes.
Probably because he pulled his hamstring.
No, I do walk on my tippy toes, or not tippy toes, the balls of my feet a lot.
And then while they circled around looking for the driver that was sitting nearby in the same spot the entire time,
We're
LOL.
walking around
Oh, man.
where is he?
So I was wondering, is that his drunk walk, or is it because of his vertical challenge that V always talks about?
Oh, damn. You got the short guy hop.
Someone just emailed me and said, "You're not short in person. I met you last night at Rosalita's. Virginia's wrong."
There you go.
I do walk like that. If I'm not thinking about it, I will walk on the balls of my feet. I'm a goofy walker.
He bounces.
Yes.
Got this email from Hector. He said, I'm a longtime listener since 2006. I was so excited that you guys were coming to Rosalita's since I live just 5 minutes away. I took my 2-year-old kid with me so we could meet the KVJ crew, but by the time that we got there, it was very crowded. My son recognized Jason since I play the show through the Apple TV, and we wanted to take a picture with you guys, but unfortunately, you were talking to a group of people, and we didn't want to be rude or interrupt.
Aww.
I wanted to wait a bit longer, and have a cocktail, but I couldn't since I was driving with my little one. Just wanted to say that all of you have great chemistry, and it's awesome to see the friendly demeanor that you project to your fans, and that is why you're number one in our hearts. We'll try to make it to another event. Hector and baby Amir.
Yeah, even if we're talking, you can always interrupt us for a picture, please.
Yeah.
It makes me sad that somebody left and they didn't get the picture they wanted.
Peter said, Jason really keeps squeezing his man boobs every 30 seconds this morning on KVJ TV. I thought I saw a shot glass in his hand and tequila squirting out of his nipples. WTF is that, man?
I don't know, man. He's right. What the fuck is that? It's a thing I guess I always do if I'm a little off that day. It's a nervous
It's
thing.
a nervous tick.
It is.
He grabs his titties.
I do. I'm a titty grabber.
Here's a comment from David. He said, hey, I was just wondering if Jaybird was still into the whole opening up the Sizzler restaurant thing. Last I'd heard you talking, you were going to the one in Orlando. You thought it was closed, but my wife and I went to Disney a couple weekends ago, and I noticed that there was one still open.
What? Where?
It was right near Disney.
'Cause
He
they
sent an aerial map of it.
They bulldozed one of them.
Yeah, but there's still one there. He saw it.
So you can't keep Sizzler down.
Yeah, he said, I've never been to one, but the reviews on this Sizzler were horrible.
Meat you wouldn't feed your dog.
There wasn't one person that thought that was a good idea.
The only thing good about it is the price.
Yeah.
It is priced accordingly.
Yeah, that guy ended up. He's doing something over in Tampa now. He's not even doing
Your business partner?
Yeah, for 5 minutes. You're right. You said you didn't like him from the start.
I didn't like him.
Guy got to turn into a dick.
And didn't like him. I don't like him.
And a comment from today's show about the father-daughter dances that they're getting rid of at elementary schools all across America because they're not inclusive enough. Even though they said they're inclusive, they just feel like they hurt some people's feelings. Well, Peter said it was so funny that your show was about the father-daughter dance being canceled, as that was our conversation on the way to school this morning prior to your show talking about it.
Really?
My daughter was just asking why they haven't had the dance yet, and I called the school and I got the answer that it wasn't on the schedule for this year.
Aww.
For all those PC parents, what about my daughter that is now devastated that she can't share that special day with her daddy? Now she is going to miss out. It's a shame that we can't honor special relationships between a father and a daughter. People have to always complain about something. Her school is Meadow Park in West Palm Beach. Sad that these schools bow down to the pressure of a few people. Best. That's actually from Amy.
I know that school. I think I've been to that school before.
Yeah. You know, and my take was, and I understand, I think that every group should have their own dance. You know, if you're in, like we got an email from a lesbian couple, absolutely. I think that you should have your own dance and your own arrangement. But I just don't like when people complain and they take things away from people in society. It's like, we can't do it now. You got to come shit on my party. You know? I don't like that.
I'm with you.
It's bullshit. I mean, you know, honestly. I mean, I love that special relationship that fathers have with their daughter. If we don't have a fucking dance, let us have a dance.
You're right, man. I completely echo your thoughts.
If you want your own thing, set up your own thing. Recruit your own people and do your own deal. But don't come in here and complain and now I can't do mine. It's crazy.
I hear you.
I hate that stuff.
Do we need to rise
Well, you know, I'm telling people, and I had this conversation, you know, and I try not to ever get too political, but I think people know this, you know, for everyone who is in an outrage about Donald Trump and where he is, I'm like, you're creating him. You're making him. Because, you know, with politics, you know what wins is you have Democrats and you have Republicans, and then right in the middle, you got moderates. People that, to me, I think are just, for the most part, level-headed and can swing either way, and I'm one of them. I'm an independent. I'm a moderate. I think the Democrats are messed up. I think the Republicans are messed up, so I don't want to bow down to either party.
They're all filled with liars.
But I'll tell you what happens. Who wins the presidential elections and who wins in politics is the one that can win over that big chunk of people right in the middle, to their side and to their thing. And when you are going out there and you're taking away father-daughter dances and now you've pissed me off, then when Donald Trump's saying we got a problem with the PC movement in this country, though I don't agree with a lot of stuff he says, you're like going, you're right about that.
They took my dance.
You took my damn dance. And if it's a hot enough button, who are you going to vote for?
Sean Hannity once said, no, I'm just kidding.
I was like, hold up. Who the fuck are you? What'd you do with Jason?
And I don't think that's a huge, astute political observation, but that is just the basic truth. So, in a sense, really what you want to do, if you don't want Donald Trump elected, just chill for a while and don't start bitching about every father-daughter dance and every little... Don't be so damn overly PC until the presidential election is over. Because you're going to take a lot of moderates and you're going to push them right into Trump.
It really annoys me when people take things way too seriously. Like, over the top. The PC movement is horseshit. It really is.
And I honestly, I'm completely dumbfounded that this fucker is going to be like the Republican candidate. Like, I can't believe, like, it's happening. And I'm still just like, something's going to happen, right? I mean, it's almost kind of like a weird dream. But then I start seeing the phenomenon that is getting Donald Trump closer and closer to the White House, and that really is it. It's stories like this. It's what's doing it.
It's definitely going to be Trump, and it's going to be Clinton, and that's who it's going to be head to head.
I don't even see at this point what it would take to derail that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
From happening, and who knows who's going to win the whole thing, but that's just my note. Like, if you really don't want Trump elected, just freaking chill on the PC thing for through November. And then in January, you can pick it all back up and squash every father-daughter dance you want to. Take them all out. But yeah, until then, if you don't want him elected, just chill. Boy, there were a lot of comments that came out about Mexican Queen. A lot of emails on that, and I don't want to, overkill it, but I got a few here.
We gotta still delve, Kev.
They're just funny. Some of the comments. That's hilarious about her not showering. Lauren said, "I have to say, I love how much the Queen just doesn't give a fuck. Kevin and the Queen are really yin and yang. A woman who will walk into the grocery store without shoes on." Amazing. Amazing.
It is amazing.
It is.
She has no convictions. The OB and the showering, on the other hand, holy shit. My mind can't even start to process this. Yesterday's podcast with the Queen was probably my second favorite after the drunk podcast. That's from Lauren.
The big reveal at the gyno was shocking. That was a shocking story.
The gynecologist sees a lot of hoo-has. And so for the gynecologist to say, wow, does it always smell like that?
Is that the first time you heard that story?
No, I think I knew that when she's debated. She's like, maybe I should bring that up someday. I'm like, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. And then even after, she's like, oh, maybe I should have brought that up. I'm like, yeah, people liked it.
Oh, yeah.
They can't believe it, but they love it. They need it.
Look, man, whether you're grossed out or you loved it, you are listening to every word. You're
right,
like,
exactly.
What the? Like, holy fuck.
So I said, hey, even though I don't necessarily love it personally, I'm like, yeah, it was.
Professionally, it's great.
Professionally, people loved it, yeah. Courtney said, whatever it was that came off of Kim, the Mexican Queen's arms on KVJ TV with the wet wipes when she wiped herself down, paired with Jason's description of her spoiled milk armpits, almost made me lose my lunch. She said, I don't know whether to judge her or congratulate her on not giving a fuck. She owns it. I'm just worried this is bad for her health. Good luck, Kev.
There is something to somebody who owns
it.
If they do not give a fuck, it's almost like people are like, all right, whatever.
Are you sure she didn't rub any kind of dirt on herself before she came in, just for effect?
No, I see it. I mean, she does that all the time. I'll see her in the car. She was doing that last night. She'll show me. She makes a point to show me. She's like, oh, look how dirty I am. Like, it's like she's proud. Like,
is she working out at an island? Like, where is she? Where's the dirt? In a garden? Where is she working out at?
I know. I'm the same way. It's like she sleeps in the street. I don't even know.
It was either dirt or it almost kind of looked like some type of solution, like a tanning.
I think no. She doesn't use tan. She's naturally tan. She's Mexican.
Fuck. It was dirt then.
It's dirt. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Kimmy wrote the Queen on the podcast. I can't even. She said, okay, I thought I would understand more about the Queen and why she wants to be filthy, but holy shit, I am completely blown away. And now I truly have no words. But what? She went to the gyno and the doctor had to ask, does it always smell this bad? I mean, what? I have another question. Is the fucking box spring in the dog cage still in your shower? No, the box springs are gone. We've worked that out, and we don't really kennel the dogs in the shower too much. So that part is resolved. So it's a trade-off.
So things are looking up.
Yeah, I always love to hear from Kentucky John, who we've had on the show.
Very spirited.
Talks a little bit like this. I always like to read and like Kentucky John would be typing. He said, "Hey, buddy, I just want to let you know that I'm the one who started the Mexican Queen Must Shower Facebook page."
Okay.
LOL, I hope you don't mind. I just thought we could put a little pressure on her to shower for you, buddy. Anything I can do for you, just shoot me an email. And tell Jaybird I set a trap for that might be Bigfoot up here in Kentucky using a game camera. I might get lucky, you never know. And tell the Queen that she owes me a fucking sub because I had to throw out one because of that gyno story. Holy shit, bud. She is at a different level. Also, I want to say, wow, Virginia was looking great on KVJ TV.
Well.
Let her know for me. Peace, guys.
Kentucky John's awesome.
And Chris said your theory about the Mexican Queen is absolutely correct regarding her dad and how compulsive he is about neatness and cleanliness.
Because I did feel when you told that story on the air, that did actually explain something to me anyway.
Yeah.
And it might be so repressed that she hasn't even put two and two together.
Tapped into it, yeah.
Because I think what happened, I think there's like a physical and mental thing that happens to her when she knows there's a shower that it's a dreadful thing for her, and she doesn't she may not even understand why why it is, but she does not. She's afraid of it almost.
Right. Well, even just yesterday, we were out Cinco de Mayo, and I always see, the head Mexican on Cinco de Mayo. He was out and he had a Mexico shirt on and everything. And it's interesting. I saw them having Mexican food together, sitting at the same table, and he was so clean and she looked so filthy. And I heard him talking to Cannon, and he was like, he's like, if you want those 2 toys, you better clean up and get your shoes on. So he's still very much, even with the kids, that's how he tries to manipulate them or bribe them to be clean, and it drives him crazy that my son Cannon never wears shoes. And so he's just, you have to be buttoned up, presentable, and all this kind of stuff. He had on like white pants yesterday. He looked like a polo player. He's so immaculate. I mean, there was not a spot on those white pants.
There you go. I mean, she is literally rebelling against her childhood and against having to conform to that.
Yeah, and he looked amazing and smelled fantastic.
Think about it. Now, she's finally at a point in her life when she don't have to answer to Dick.
Yeah.
She has no job. She doesn't have to answer to a boss. She has no dad in her household anymore. You certainly don't boss her around. She, for the first time in her life, is in charge of her own decisions and what she does and everything.
And Chris said, my mom growing up was obsessive about cleanliness and orderliness around the house, and I felt like always dusting, cleaning, doing the windows, etc. growing up. But as an adult, I now can barely bring myself to dust and do windows, and I just hate cleaning. The problem is I hate clutter. So the house is picked up, but there's a half inch of dust on everything, and you can't see out my windows. It's a real problem. Enjoyed the interview so much. It was hilarious. That's Chris that sent that in. But yeah, continuing to try to figure it all out.
And I don't think we need to close the book on this thing. We still got to explore and figure out more about this.
Who knows? Who knows? We're just here to learn, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Sadie Allison is America's Pleasure Coach. Welcome into the show. How are you doing, Dr. Sadie?
Hi.
It's good to see you.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for the box of toys.
Oh, you're welcome.
My goodness, that was something over there. And I believe the claim, we got the womanizer out over here. Virginia, can you hand me that? I'd like to look at what this thing is. Now, normally that's not a very flattering title, but apparently this crazy contraption here does some amazing things.
That's right. It's the name is it's the kind of womanizer that you actually want around.
Okay.
So this is a revolutionary toy. I've been in the toy business about 15 years. I've been being in the sex advice business about 30, actually.
Is the rabbit
Really?
still a big one?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. Yeah. The rabbit's good. This
He
one
has 2 of them.
Oh, you got one? Yeah, get that on the got to get that on the camera there, Dr. Sadie, too. The camera's right in front of you. I want to make sure that people can see that.
So the womanizer is so amazing because it's revolutionary in the fact
Put it up
that
to that microphone right over there. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a slight vibration with this high-grade quality silicone tip, but the thing about this is there's an air suction technology inside.
Oh.
So right in this tip, which goes over the woman's pleasure button,
Yeah.
it simulates oral sex for her, like a BJ for guys.
Yeah, really.
So you just set it right
Really?
against her, and here's the kicker: 52% of our test group that tried the toy achieved the Big O in less than 60 seconds.
This sounds amazing.
I don't know
first
why
of
I didn't
all.
invent this a long time ago, but
It almost sounds like a plane, like there's a jet in there.
It sounds. Oh my
He
God.
wants to join the Mile High Club.
All of a sudden, I'm waking up again.
check this out. Put that. So the
Yeah.
air suction's very light. If you set it up against your nose, and it's brand new, don't worry.
He doesn't care.
Where is it? He doesn't care.
If it's been on you, he's fine.
The most action he's gotten.
Okay, so you can feel a really light air suction, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So we have 8,000 nerve endings at the tip of our pleasure button. Men, you guys have 4,000 at
All
your
right.
tip. Okay, so if you can imagine 8,000 sensitive nerve endings, that feels really strong. And that's why women can get there in less than 60 seconds with this. When I first heard about that, I had to get one and try it. And I'm like, let me 60 seconds.
Yeah.
30 seconds for me.
30
And then again and again and again. And that's why it's so
Again and again and again?
Yes.
How
And
many times did you keep going back?
Well, honey, that's he
Is
wasn't
that your
in the room.
husband?
Were you
Yeah.
watching? Get on the mic over here. Were you watching or like what?
No, I wasn't watching. I was just.
This was my solo playtime.
This
Oh,
was the product evaluation that she did privately.
Do you ever like have her like try stuff out and you sit there and watch as she does the whole deal? I assume that happens a lot, right?
We watch, yeah. I watch.
Man,
Yeah.
watch. It's
Yeah.
America's pastime, Kev. Watching?
I thought that was football.
You have to evaluate.
Honestly, like, why would you even turn on like? You just,
Hey,
my goodness.
Can I get a taste of that?
Yeah.
I mean, not taste, but
I don't know why, but you're going to want to smell it. I don't know.
I know.
You can't put it in your nose. You're going to have to, for whatever reason, you have to
nice
smell
and
it.
sweet like cherries. And by the way, that's right on my homepage at ticklekitty.com if anyone wants to check it out. It looks kind of like an otoscope, right? Like when you go to
It
the
does.
doctor.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, you wouldn't even know. Honestly, like your kids could play doctor with that, and they wouldn't have any idea what's going on.
it feels good on the nipples.
Yeah.
It looks like a pipe, too.
Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
does.
It fits right over the pleasure spot. And what's neat is you have a lot of sensitive nerve endings all inside of your vulva as well,
Yeah.
around the clitoris.
Uh-huh.
So that's what the circular tip hits. And so the very tip of your pleasure button isn't touched at all. It's like touchless. It's really a
This thing's got to sell like crazy. I mean, I can't imagine, like 30 seconds for you, 60 for a majority of the women?
Yeah, and especially women that have problems getting there, and the couples have been trying and trying.
Yeah,
and
I know.
it's hard for her. This is like the cheater toy.
I knew-
that gets you bumping.
This one girl, she said she never had an orgasm before. Her whole life, she's like, all my friends talk about orgasms. I've never had one. I've tried this. I've tried that. She's got to try that thing.
What's her name?
Oh, I can't do that.
Project X.
You got to try that thing. Wow.
It's really great. A lot of men have been
Darn.
buying that for their wives for Mother's Day, actually, for when the lights go down after the nice dinner and all that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lovely high-end luxury toy to give your wife.
Now, do men have anything that's equally awesome like that?
There's a ton of men's toys. I have a whole section for guys' toys on TickleKitty.com.
we always hear about the fleshlight,
The fleshlight's great.
which seems kind of weird to me. Like, it's kind of like you're just, you're.
Well, you use your hand when you jerk off, or I'm sorry, masturbate.
Are you getting all technical? Now all of a sudden you're getting proper? Please.
You use your hand when you masturbate.
Yeah, but it's like it's.
Fleshlight.
I don't know, but it's almost like you're sodomizing something else. Like my hand, okay, like it's got to take it because it's part of me. But whenever I do something to an instrument or anything like that, it's like I don't know. I just
So frigid.
I don't. It's almost like I haven't gotten their consent.
Okay,
you know?
well, I'm here to give you permission.
Okay,
And I will send
to
you a
rape a
care
fleshlight?
package. They're called male masturbators or pleasurizers.
Yeah.
And there's a plethora of styles and models. Ones that look like mouths. Ones that look like butts.
But
ones
is
that look
there like a Cadillac?
Well, you find out a lot about a
There-
person by what they order. I bet.
Oh, he's definitely wants the butt one.
No,
There are I have a new one I just added to the website. It's called the Extreme Head Exciter.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's
I'm gonna
it's
Google.
it takes that it vibrates and has a mechanical device inside that goes up and down for you. So maybe that's what you need, Kev.
yes, he does need that. I want to get him
Holy
one.
shit! So you put it like this, and it's going. It's like,
Yes,
it's like-
and there's ones that spin, and there's
Oh, my God.
there's
Kev,
ones that
technology is really upped its game.
Now,
Check
wait.
out my site. You'll see all the cool stuff.
Do you have like a professional product tester? Is there like a guy? Does your husband do this? Is like you went, hey, try this one, honey. And he's like, oh, and
He
you just-
loves them.
I definitely evaluate the products.
And then do you okay? But did you take like clinical stats on this? Like, okay, he's look at you. Oh boy, he came in just 10 seconds. Or I mean, you write that down and then rate them, and he's like, that's a 5-star. I mean, how do you do that? Is that what you do?
Well, what we did last time, we got a box of them. They're like 10 different models.
Yeah.
This is for
he'll-
the guy. This is for okay.
Yeah, I said we're picking out new guys' toys for this
Yeah.
tour, and so my boyfriend John, he's my good tester. We actually have a toy tester team, but the male toys, I got my mail right here.
How do you
Sometimes
join?
you need instant feedback.
So,
Yeah, how do you join this team?
You just say you want in.
I want in.
Okay, let me get your address before we go. I'll send you some stuff. I'm going to send him a
Wow.
care package too. So we had a whole bunch we were trying, and we had to get through them all. So John would try one at a time, and some are crap. So
Yeah.
you try it for a minute, toss it. This one's potential, and then at the end,
Yeah.
I'd have to finish them off right. But that's how we selected it. And we picked our top 3.
Really? How about that?
Okay, I'm gonna order you one. What's it called again?
It's called the Extreme Head XTREME, I think. Head Exciter.
Okay, so you guys, how long have you guys been dating?
5 years.
5 years. And she's been doing this for 30. So how do you wind up starting to date someone that is titled America's Pleasure Coach? And like, I mean,
It's intimidating, right?
I was a deer in headlights.
I bet.
Yeah,
a
it
happy
was-
deer, though. I'm sure.
how did you guys meet in something like that was aside from her business, or was it? How did this whole thing happen? And then when you found out what she did, you got to be like, holy, like this is crazy.
He was a little nervous.
Yeah, it was a mutual friend. We both have kids, and a mutual friend that knew both our daughters introduced us, so that she knew that we'd be a good fit.
Wow.
And we met, and I found out pretty quick what she did, and I was like, I have to ask her out. I mean, she's super cool, and aside from that, but
Yeah.
oh my God, and I was terrified.
The first time you guys had sex, you had to be like, I mean, did you throw out a whole bunch like, hey, I'm going to do my best? I'm like,
erotic guy.
Please just take me as I am.
Right.
How did a little anxiety.
Did you have to like have a talk and be like, okay, just help me out here? Or, I assume you've learned a lot.
I've learned a great deal. Yes.
Yeah. And if you had to now rate yourself from where you were before you met to where you are now, like, are you like a Jedi?
Look at him, Kevin. He hasn't stopped smiling since he
No,
walked.
blushing,
that's why he hasn't broken this
got hot in
freaking
here.
smile. He's just like, oh my God. What?
Yeah.
You could tell him the worst thing ever, and it wouldn't even crack that smile. It's so he's got permagrin.
Yeah.
He's
going on
a
here.
good-looking
Yeah.
dude.
Where I was to where I am now, I'm a Jedi Knight. Yeah.
Jedi Knight.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was
That's
funny
awesome.
when we met.
Yeah.
He came by my office and he saw my book sitting there, Tickle His Pickle.
Yeah,
Your
oh,
hands-on
yeah.
guide to penis pleasing. This is one of my bestsellers. Men across the world thank me for writing this.
And it's wow.
Look at all these drawings.
It's got
in it.
illustrations.
Here, you check out this one.
This pickle.
And so he saw the book in my office, and then my girlfriend at the time said, "Oh yeah, she wrote that book." And he looked down at it, and he's like, "Oh my God, I have that book. My ex-girlfriend had it, and it's on my nightstand."
Yeah.
He's like, "You wrote Tickle His Pickle?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, someone had to do it."
I gotta tell you, the Undercover Clitoris is a pretty good read so far.
Why don't you read some to us?
I got so many questions.
Maybe you're a guy who'll keep driving all night instead of asking directions.
Oh.
Now, was that weird for you then, knowing that his ex-girlfriend was doing things to him that she had read from you that you're now, I mean...
No one's ever asked me that. No, it wasn't. I was happy that someone was trying some good stuff on him, but I doubt she was as good as me.
Okay.
No,
You are America's pleasure coach.
You know, and I did
No-
write the book.
no one was
so
as
I
good
feel
as
like
you.
I know some things.
is every time, like, when you guys were getting together, is it like an education session where you're like holding, like, okay, no, move this, do your hand this way, anything? Or is it, no, it was
We've
never
had
like
times where we say, okay, this is experiment time. Let's give each other a lot of feedback.
Yeah, okay.
We're critiquing in a positive way. So no one in the middle of it's going, hey, what are you doing? It's like we're
No,
teaching each
yeah.
other. But other times, and especially at the beginning, I know a lot of stuff and I have tricks I can pull out of the hat. But whenever I would date somebody new, I would just go into it and let him lead and go at his pace.
Okay. Now, would you ever, like, so you would never, and this is just for couples in general, if you're trying to get somebody better at sex, don't go negative. So don't say, oh, that feels awful. Like, what are you doing? You really weird me out. You
Right.
wouldn't ever say any comment like that. You only
You want to turn it around
praise.
into a
You
positive
only
way.
praise. But what if
Yeah.
it's someone that's just like, how do you get someone that's like, okay, he's down there, I don't know, he's chewing on it like it's a sock, and you're like, okay, like how do I get that to stop?
Okay, so you don't want to, like you said, you don't want to say something negative and hurt anyone's feelings because they're trying, they're putting effort in. So in that particular situation, you can kind of initiate switching positions or something just to kind of like
Change it
things
up.
But what I suggest for that particular couple is to talk about this stuff outside the bedroom.
Okay.
Over lunch, over dinner, so you're not in the middle of doing things, and be real gentle about it and say, hey, this is, tell me something that you would like me to do differently.
There's a
than
lot
I
of-
do.
there's a
And
lot
then
of-
that kind of opens up the conversation.
This has got moves in it. The Walk of Fame move.
What is that?
Make like your two fingers are walking and stroke your lover's inner vulva. Mm-hmm. Slowly at
Where are
first.
your fingers walking?
Show me on Kevin.
All right.
Show him the picture. He'll know.
Oh, yeah, here's a picture.
Yeah, that's
Sorry, I
that's
got
probably
lost.
There you go.
easier.
He forgot
Yeah.
what they look like.
I don't even know if you're putting that on
Yeah,
camera.
That's vagina, Kevin.
I think you're just holding. I know, but yeah. I'm like, oh, she's cut. Oh my God, get her a Band-Aid. What's wrong with it, poor woman?
Wow, the Walk of Fame.
So this particular book, The Mystery of the Undercover Clitoris, is for men. It's my first book dedicated just to guys, and it's all about how to touch a woman and nothing else. Not about penetration or anything else. Because let's face it, and you might be able to agree, most guys do not know how gentle and slow we like to be touched. They watch too much porn. That's not a good teacher. And here's an example. If you had an eyelash stuck in your eyeball, and you pull down your lower lid and you go to rub that eyelash out, how gently are you touching your eyeball?
Oh, so
Very
so
gently.
gentle. Yeah, you don't want to
That's
scratch the
how
eye.
gentle you want to start when you are touching a woman's vulva and her pleasure spot.
Really?
But what hap-
Yes.
What happens if you're doing the move, what's on top? It's clitoral
What's on
tap.
tap?
Oh, tap. Jeez.
You were on tap last night, I heard. At
Yes,
the
I
tequila
was.
bar.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
What's on? I'm an idiot. But yes, this what's on? It's clitoral tapping, Kevin.
Clitoral tapping.
Yes, I guess it's like.
What is it, like Morse code? Like, what are you doing here?
Sure.
Yeah.
I love you, honey.
Okay, yeah.
So beautiful.
I don't think it's like a patty cake, but I think it's like a tap, a little tap and a tap.
Let me have the good doctor explain
There you
her.
go.
Oh, that gentle.
Just
Okay.
gentle.
Some women like that.
Right on the pleasure
And
button.
you're doing it just right. Nice and gentle.
Look at
Look
you.
at that.
Let me see you do it gentle.
Everybody, let's do.
I'll do it gentle.
Oh, he's playing the piano now. That can feel good
That's
too.
smile move. It's called
Your
the.
fingernails are dirty. Meat hooks.
It's dye.
We do like you to wash your hands beforehand because it's a very sensitive area.
Yes.
There's moisture. You can get infections if
We
there's
don't
bacteria.
want bacteria.
Congratulations, you
clean
just
hands.
came, but you got an infection.
Eighth wonder of the world. This one is what you need, Kev.
No, yeah.
You got a whole set in that box I sent you. Did you guys know that it's National Masturbation Month?
Some people celebrate year-round. Yeah. We don't need a month. We don't need a day.
I don't want to brag, but I'm really going at it.
really going at it.
Nice. Now, do you try different techniques?
Oh,
Or you-
yeah, absolutely.
What, masturbating?
Of course. You got to reverse that thing sometimes, Kev.
Really? So
Yeah.
like you'll switch it up a little bit?
And you can also hump your hand, too. Like, you can be on top of your hand and have sex with your hand.
So wait, you put your hand down and then you jump on that thing and then you start.
You can lay on your bed like.
Okay, all right.
I apologize to the good.
Yeah, get up. Make sure you're getting that on camera too. We gotta make sure people can see that. Get that over there.
So I have to. Can I?
Where's the paddle? I'll be.
Okay. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If I'm laying on the bed like this.
Yeah.
Turn your hand and you.
Do you ever sprain your wrist doing that?
The worst is when you're trying to get business done and you get a Charlie horse. It's the worst.
So I'm going to have to send him the big silicone masturbator butt. It's actually a porn star's ass this big.
Really?
A real spongy
My size.
Oh, I've
material.
seen those,
to
yeah.
put right under your hips on your bed so you can actually think you're being with a woman now.
Oh,
instead of your
he's
hands.
an ass man.
He will.
Oh, is he an ass man?
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll tear
She
that thing all
likes
night.
to say I'm an ass man, and like I like things up my butt, which I A do not, and B yeah, I like a girl's ass. Oh, I'm so odd.
Can you get the extra large reservoir on that?
That's so gross.
Sorry, I just stopped the room.
And that's tough.
You've gone too far.
He's already nauseous in here.
Okay, so I'm very fascinated with the education. So if you get the books, you can learn a lot. For ladies, Tickle His Pickle, the name of Jaybird's clip book over there that he's got.
Clip book.
Yeah.
He's knocking everything over.
Undercover clitoris. It's a
Hold that
great
up to the
read.
camera there. There we go. Undercover. Okay. Undercover
Write him
clitoris.
Cowgirl. Sex Position Secrets for Better Bucking. And when I wrote that book, I didn't want to just put a whole bunch of position ideas. I mean, there are 100 illustrations. Did you see those?
I love them.
They're super cool. So you can literally lay in bed with your lover and just point and play.
That is fun.
What is the? I was reading something the other day. It was talking about the best positions that sometimes, and I think they said, if I remember right, I think even the traditional missionary, and maybe the female on top. Those are some of the best because it puts the head of the penis right up, I guess, where like the G spot would be in the best way. Because sometimes you get tricky with reverse cowgirls and all these kind of things, and it actually puts you in the flip reverse situation for if a chick's all about getting the orgasm, you got to get in the right position, and those are the best that have the best results.
You're absolutely right. And it covers all of that. I have a chapter in there on positions that are best for G-spot stimulation, clitoral stimulation. And here's the thing about Girl on Top. It's the most popular for women because we're in control at that point.
Yes, okay.
So we can tilt our hips forward so that our vulva and our clitoris is actually getting friction and against the pelvis of the man. And be able to thrust as much as we want and choose our own speed. And so that's how a lot of women can actually achieve orgasm during intercourse because we're in control and we know what we need and how it's feeling.
Okay.
Do you know where the G spot's at, Kev?
The G spot?
Yeah. Do you know where that's at?
He's quizzing you.
I don't think I know
2 to
where
3
it's
inches inside.
They say, yeah,
the
2 to
vagina.
3 inches on the inner upside wall. And that's why a lot of
Inside
times.
towards the belly button.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, in fact, a lot of times, isn't that kind of like a good
The come
technique
hither.
where you do the come hither? Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
see,
doing
he's done it.
kind of like the finger stuff.
Okay.
I've read up. Yeah.
That's our boy right there.
I don't ever use any of these techniques, but I got them. Got a lot of bag of tricks there.
I also have a book called Tickle My Tush.
Hey,
Oh, give it to that
Jaybird.
guy.
Mild
Yeah.
to wild
give
anal
me
play
the ass
adventures.
book. 'Cause I
What is
love
it?
ass.
Is it like what is it? Just kind of like a little bit of ass play? Is that what that is?
Everything ass.
Wow.
Everything ass.
Starting with just rimming, which is kissing and licking, to gentle finger play on the outside, to finger play going in, to all the way through penetration. And it's called mild to wild because a lot of people might not want to do penetration.
Sure.
But there's a little bit of anal play during sex. Feels really good. It just enhances everything. You don't have to go inside.
Sure.
Huh.
And so there's safety precautions, though.
Yeah.
It's not like the vagina that has its own lubrication. So it's really super important that men and women understand you have to use lubrication when you're playing with the butt. Otherwise, someone can get hurt.
What if Panda wanted to do a little butt stuff? Are you in?
I don't know.
He's like, hey, baby, I just want to tickle it. I just want to do the
Yeah,
swirl.
just a little tickle.
I love my husband, so if it was important to him, it would be important to me. But I don't think he likes that kind of stuff.
Have you tried it?
No.
Just the surface outside, not anything inside. Next time you're giving him oral pleasure,
Okay.
wet one of your fingers and just go in a little circle right on his little pucker spot. He won't turn you down because he's focusing on all that great stuff that feels good.
I gotta hear the report on
Don't
this.
worry, I'll Snapchat it.
I gotta hear the report on
10
this.
seconds worth.
We need audio for that.
Surprise.
Where do we go online, Dr. Sadie, to find all this great literature and the womanizer?
Womanizer. Oh my God, 60-second orgasms. TickleKitty.com is the
Okay.
website. There's a ton of other fun sex toys as well. And what I'm doing with the Womanizer, because it's National Masturbation Month, I'm including a free set of all of my books, my Slippery Kitty lubricants, and a Tickle Kitty bullet vibrator for free. It comes with the Womanizer, and I'm shipping everything for free. So I really want people to get their orgasms.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, get your orgasm.
Get your orgasm on.
Yeah. I'm just looking at your boyfriend's face, just looking at you, and you can just read what's going on in his mind right now. It's just, good Lord.
Luckiest guy ever.
He's a doll.
I'm just kind of curious because you're talking about America's Pleasure Coach. What is your guys' frequency? That's always a big question for people. What would you say your average is? How many times a week is it? How many
to
days?
3.
2 to 3 days out of the week?
Yeah.
And each time, like, how many times?
It depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very fast. So you and I need to grab beers one of these days.
Well, she always needs more than one. So
Yeah, I tell him, I'm like, just one?
I have to pace myself, right? So she, will warm her up, and then
That's just amazing.
Yeah, because women, once we get to that heightened state, which takes about 20 minutes to get all the blood flow down to our genitals, we have the same erectile tissue that men have. So we get little lady boners, if you will. Our clitoris, if you
lady
actually,
boners.
Do you have a boner right now, Kev?
I'm okay, but yeah, I might watch this back later.
I do.
too many dudes.
I got a lady boner.
He's got a lady boner.
If all you guys just left, maybe. Lady boner.
That'd actually be a great name for a band, wouldn't it?
Lady
Yeah.
boner?
Lady
That's
boner.
a great name.
Yeah.
Memorable.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you very much, Dr. Sadie Allison, America's Pleasure Coach, for coming in and teaching us today.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are a lot of fun.
Of course.
Yeah, we learned. It's educational. That's what we do here. Education. Now we're about ready to learn something else. Very
That's
interesting
awesome. Thank
podcast
you.
from yesterday when I got to hear about producer Denny's whole travel and experience into his world of. He started with the shrooms. Is that what he said yesterday? Is that where it all began?
Did you
The
start
first
with the
thing
shrooms?
that he did?
That was,
Was
the
that-
LSD.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Your first time.
Yeah, your first drug was at LSD?
Yeah, LSD was the first drug I ever tried.
Holy cow,
It
that's
was-
an
it was a wild
ambitious
ride.
guy, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like the first time you have sex is with a porn star. I mean, that's how I like it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you're
my
right.
God, he really,
hit rate.
yeah, you really went for it. It's just crazy. All right, well, here we go with another round of a story from a stoner. All right, what you got for us today, Denny's?
Well, back in the day, you know how I was kind of like a traveling man, if you will. At a young age, I left the house and I kind of just would crash at people's houses. Mm-hmm. And every now and then there'd be like a 1 or 2 week period where it was kind of tough to find a place to stay at. And here, I'll move over here real quick. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I got you on camera there.
Strawberry jelly, huh?
Some lube.
Well, so I met this kid at a party, and he's like, you can crash at my house. He knew I sold weed, so he was pretty good that he could be locked down for having somebody staying with him that always had weed on him. So he was very excited to have me crash at his place. And so he's like, yeah, in 2 days, if you want to come by, you can just kind of stay here. I got the place to myself. I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I showed up to his place, and I was knocking at the door. And he had a really nice house, and nobody was answering, but I could hear music playing. So I was like, all right, he's got to be home. So I walk around back, and I come in through the screen porch, and then he's got the sliding door open, and he's sitting there jamming out the music. I was like, hey, I was knocking at the door, and no one answered. He's like, oh, yeah, sorry, I wasn't thinking about it. So he was, I think I've brought him up before way back in the day, but what made me think about this story was they were dropping off subs, and it was tuna subs.
Ugh.
And I can't eat a tuna sub, man. It's just not my cut.
I'm hungover. Like, the thought of a tuna sub makes me want to barf on my shoe.
Well, this kid's the kid who ruined tuna for me, because when we would be drinking or we're smoking and we had the munchies, he would make tuna fish sandwiches. He had like stockpiles of it, like an underground base amount of
gross.
So he always make it, but he always either would use too little mayonnaise to where it was like pure tuna fish and oil.
There's a fine line you got to dance with tuna. That's a great.
Or it was too much mayo and it was disgusting. So one of the nights we got real stoned, we had the munchies, and he made the sandwich, and it just was not sitting with me. And I ate a bunch of it too because I was so stoned. Even though I fought through the grossness, but I was like, I got a yak, man. I'm sorry. So I went to go use the bathroom, but the bathroom was broken, and I didn't want to put my face in the toilet. So I was just like, you got anything I could puke in, real quick? Because I was like trying to hold it back, and he grabbed me this box, and I just yacked all in this box. Well,
I yacked all in this box.
It looked like there was stuff in it, but he didn't seem to care. He was a weird kid. So the next morning, I'm sitting on the couch, I'm listening to music, and I'm expecting one of my friends to come by to buy weed off of me, and I hear the door jostling. So I'm like, so I get up to open the door, and I swing it open, and it's these two elderly people.
What?
And I'm like, can I help you guys? And they're like, can we help you? And I was like, well, what do you mean? And they're like, we live here. And I was like, what do you mean you live here? They're like, well, we live at this house that you're in right now. And I was like, well, I don't want to say the kid's name, but I was like, he said I could stay here. And they're like, oh, that's our step-grandson. It's his step-parents' grandparents.
Okay.
And they didn't know he was staying there. They were on vacation. And the reason the front was never open was because he broke in through the back.
Oh.
And he had just been crashing at their place, and he totally let me stay at this place that I did not know that was.
And they didn't know.
Oh,
they didn't know. They were on
wow.
vacation.
Oh, shit.
And I guess he forgot what time they were coming back or whatever. So, we basically, I got to the bottom of this because they were ready to call the cops and everything on me, and I was like, no, I got invited, blah, blah, blah. So they're like, hey, can you go grab him? I'm like, I think he's passed out in the room. Let me go grab him. So I knocked on the door, and while I was knocking on the door, I went through the other bedroom, and I climbed out the window and jumped in my car and took off. So I hear from the grapevine, because he got in a lot of trouble for this, and I didn't really know him that well, but he just let me stay at his place. But evidently that box that I threw up in was all the family portrait pictures that they had. He didn't even care. He just grabbed a box. I never saw them again. I never talked to him after that.
Oh my God, that keeps.
I basically ruined their house.
Oh my God.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
You puked on their family pictures.
I didn't even know it.
What a day. Well, if you would like to leave a message for producer Denny's this weekend, you can hit up Denny's dope voicemail.
Yeah.
Here's the number. It's 561-616-4638. What's on your mind? What are you doing? You can let him know.
He loves to hear from you.
Tell me anything.
Or maybe you have questions you would like for him to answer.
Yeah.
I'll answer him on Monday. I love
Advice,
it.
maybe?
Yeah. Anything you guys want.
561-616-4638. That's 561-616-4638. This weekend, you got Joel McHale. He is going to be at the Palm Beach Improv. Awesome dude. Who was on the podcast yesterday. Go to palmbeachimprov.com or call them up, 561-833-1812. They're going to give you the hook up. Charlie Murphy going to be at the Fort Lauderdale Improv this weekend. You can check out. All right, y'all. Make sure you see producer Denny's tonight. He's going to be at Dirty Martini.
Whoop, whoop.
Just
I'll be
after
getting
6 o'clock. Yeah, he will. going to be hanging there. We're going to be at Nurses Night Out, too. That's going to be happening there in the center court and bouncing back and forth just about like 5, 6 o'clock tonight. That's going to be getting down. So come see us, nurses, for that appreciation. Make sure you see Jay Bird. He's going to be at Dunkin' Donuts, Hagen Ranch Road in Boynton tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah.
Early.
And you can also see Virginia Sunday at Rapids at noon to 2 for Mother's Day.
Yes, indeed.
So come on out, pay for that kid. Moms get in for free. Y'all have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you Monday. Goodbye.